All right. As it get warmed up here, a little bit of bullshit go on yesterday, so I couldn't stay on very long. That's why I got cut a little short, which is too bad because I think there are some interesting things in those interviews. It's very interesting stuff, but it is what it is, and I threw a little bit of it, even though I would have liked to have concentrated on that a little bit more. Here we go. We're going back into do a little bit more of Paddock's family. So, see what we see. It's Kelly Marie Paddock, wife of Eric, sister-in-law of Paddock, was interviewed after the incident. Present during the interview were various special agents with the FBI. So they went out to the house, I'm guessing. Following a summary of the information provided and learned during those interviews, following a summary of the information provided. So, what kind of information was provided? Does this say the recording, or are we talking about transcripts of a recording? Kind of curious about that for FOIA purposes, if I ever get around to that. Carrie had not seen Paddock since July 2016 when she and Eric visited Paddock and Danley in Las Vegas. And not seen Paddock since July. Okay, so July 2016 was when they went out there. All right. July. So I'm trying to get a timeline here. 2016. So it's October is when we have the phones. Let's go back and look at his finances. What was going on with? But I don't think they really gave us a breakdown of a lot of that. So I don't think that really tells us much. Carrie's known Paddock for approximately, I think they said the last 5 years. He dropped a bunch of money. Last 5 years or 2 years, I can't even remember. Anyway, I'm just kind of curious if this is a part of that. Carrie's known Paddock for approximately 36 years, but she only had contact with him around 20 times. I guess it sounds kind of fucking normal. I mean, whatever. Eric and Paddock. Eric and Paddock. You mean Eric and Steven? Why do they keep saying Paddock? That's weird. That's a weird way to put it. Because Eric is a Paddock and she's a Paddock. Oh, whatever. Fuck. Oh, man. Who wrote this shit? Come on, guys. Get your shit together. This is a huge event, man. You should take it a little more seriously than your average traffic stop. Eric and Paddock would talk occasionally on the phone. Yeah. Eric and Steven? Because, I don't know. Whatever. It's stupid. Eric could have been talking to himself, and he's talking to a Paddock on the phone. Whenever Eric talks to himself, he's talking to a Paddock. She knew Paddock worked for the IRS. Let's say Steven in this case, but whatever. At one point in his life, Carrie, Paddock, and Eric bought property together in Texas and California. So, yeah. Okay. All right. I'll go into what I think about this. She also believed that Paddock owned other properties, but she did not have any further information. So she doesn't talk to her husband. I mean, yeah, what's that about? She doesn't talk to her husband. She don't know shit about this guy. They don't talk about him. Carrie knew that Paddock gambled often and believed it helped him maintain his lifestyle. So she knows something about him, I guess. Paddock liked to talk about traveling and gambling. She never observed Paddock angry or upset. Carrie knew Paddock was allergic to many things because of his allergies. Danley never wore lipstick or perfume. Carrie did not know if Paddock was ever diagnosed with any condition by a medical doctor. I mean, she knows a little bit. But up here, she's like distancing herself, like she doesn't know shit. And then all of a sudden, it turns into, well, she knows about his gambling habit and why he has a gambling habit and how he liked to travel, like to gamble. He had allergies, and that's why Danley didn't wear lipstick or perfume. She probably talked to Danley at some point and figured that out, unless her husband told her that. So, yeah, I don't know. So, what I'm getting here, what I think is might actually be happening with all this is Paddock didn't have the money. Steven didn't have the money. Steven was grifting off his family. And it sounds like, Steven here was borrowing money from everybody else while taking their money and investing in properties and making money off of those properties under somebody else's finances. That's what it sounds like. And he's putting these properties in his name. Like the shit in Mesquite, Texas, I didn't see any other Paddock on those properties except Steven. So those are all in his name. So I wonder if that's what's going on here, man. If he's taking everybody else's money and that's how he's getting rich. Because, I mean, that's how it works, right? Take somebody's money. Guy wasn't working. He wasn't doing shit. He was just peddling properties, but he wasn't peddling properties himself. He was using everybody else. The mom, this Carrie person, Eric. Yeah, I don't know. So Bruce, brother of Stephen Paddock, was interviewed on several occasions after the incident. Present during the interviews were various special agents with the FBI. The following is a summary of the information provided and learned during those interviews. Okay. I wish I would tell you what days. See if this does. Bruce was staying at an inpatient medical facility awaiting back surgery on October 1st at approximately 2:30 in the morning. Bruce woke up in need of pain medication. Bruce watched the news on television and learned of the shooting at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. Bruce heard that his brother, Paddock, Bruce is what the fuck, guys? Come on. Get your shit together. Was a suspect in the shooting. Bruce called the FBI public access line to report his location in case investigators need to talk to him. Now, would you get rid of your child porn? If you're peddling child porn, wouldn't you get rid of that at that point? Calling the FBI? You're walking in the lion's den, but you're going to keep the child porn on your computer? That's odd. That's odd. Bruce had no contact with Paddock or his mother for many years. Bruce had not seen Paddock since the early 1990s. Really? The early 90s? And had not spoken to him for over 10 years. Bruce was in LA. Paddock had, 4 cell phone numbers or whatever, all located in LA. And he never went and saw his brother. I don't know. His family's weird, man. I guess it's possible. Bruce called his mother to advise her what was going on and learned his mother was already aware. Despite the lack of contact with Paddock, Bruce believed Paddock was suffering from mental illness and was paranoid and delusional. See, I think I did a thing. I don't know. I don't think I ever went really into the interview with Bruce. I know I've done videos on this before, talked about it before. Bruce seemed like he knew a lot more than he let on to within those interviews. Or he was lying and he was bullshitting. Let's see. He did not believe Paddock was a violent person and did not abuse drugs or alcohol. So, all right. Where's he lying? Is he lying here? or is he lying on that podcast that got the interview, scored the interview with him? Was he lying to him? Because according to him, he was into he said hookers and cocaine. So for a guy that didn't know his brother for the last 10 years, not believe Paddock was a violent person, not abuse drugs or alcohol, how the fuck do you know, man? You haven't seen this guy in, we haven't talked to him in 10 years, but you haven't seen him since the 90s? Fuck me, dude. You haven't seen this guy in almost 30 years. You don't know what the hell he's doing. You have no clue. No idea whatsoever. I mean, you don't even talk to, he said he didn't even talk to his mom very much. Um, so I don't know where he would get that. Bruce speculated, um, which is a word he likes to use a lot, that Paddock would have had to be very pissed off to commit such a violent act. I can't remember what he said in the. I can't remember what he said in the interview. Bruce further stated Paddock would have planned everything well in advance. He stated Paddock knew exactly what he was doing when he selected the hotel, the room, the floor, and the concert venue below. I wonder if we could FOIA this thing, man, because this guy don't live no more. This guy ain't around no more. I wonder if we could get this interview by name. According to Bruce, Paddock was successful and wealthy. Paddock worked for the IRS in the United States. You don't get rich working for the U.S. Postal Service. I mean, you make a good living, but you don't get rich. I don't know about the IRS either. I doubt you get rich working for the IRS, unless he was in charge of it. But no. He stayed at Paddock owned several apartment buildings. Now, that's where you make money. That's where he was making money. But whose money was this that he bought those apartment buildings with? It sounds like his brother, which was his younger brother. So he would have got, while he was working at the post office at high school and college, his brother would have graduating high school. By the time he went into the IRS, his brother probably would have been in college. So where does the money come from for owning several apartment buildings? Because if you got a brother in college, he ain't making money. I mean, it's possible he didn't go to college and he went and got some career, but he ain't rich either, man. I guess together they could have bought apartment buildings, but I mean, these people are just starting out at that point. So I don't know. We go back into his report and see what apartment buildings he bought, how old he was, all that sort of stuff, I guess. But there was a big boom in LA, so there was money to be made at that time in the 90s. But again, I'm not too sure, man. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know a couple of those buildings. I mean, I think he made $1 million off one. But from everything I looked at in his report, I mean, he wasn't rich. He had money. He had a lot of money, but he didn't have the kind of money that you could just throw away in Vegas. You know, uh, he's definitely a multi-millionaire, but yeah, not the kind of money he was spending. Patrick Paddock. This is the one his brother called him what? Sociopath? Or no, this was I forget what he called this guy. I think the sociopath was Bruce. Patrick was the they call him like mentally unstable, I believe. Patrick Paddock, brother of Stephen Paddock, was interviewed on several occasions after the incident. Present during the interviews were various special agents of the FBI. The following is a summary of the information provided and learned in those interviews, of course. Paddock works at the Pima County Wastewater Reclamation Department in Tucson, Arizona. Pima County Wastewater Reclamation. Okay. Patrick learned of the attack in Las Vegas when a coworker asked if he was related to Stephen Paddock. Patrick told investigators he had no current knowledge of Paddock's activities. I wish they would say Stephen Paddock, man. This is driving me nuts because Patrick is a Paddock. These are all Paddocks. Oh, shit. Knowledge of Paddock's activities or state of mind due to having no contact with him over the last 2 decades. Patrick said he had no interest in Paddock other than other family members or any other family members. This guy didn't like his family. Okay, it's cool, whatever. Um, these people, this is a weird family, man. Um, Patrick was not aware of Paddock having any mental disorders or affiliations with religious or political groups. Patrick was aware Paddock had a pilot's license and worked for the IRS at one point. Yeah, he would know that. So, according to Patrick, Paddock did not display behaviors of violence or revenge and was motivated by what benefited him personally. So he was selfish. To his knowledge, Paddock did not abuse alcohol, illegal drugs, or prescription medications. So, with this, yeah, it sounds legit. He may not have known anything about him. Doesn't sound like he's given any additional information of any kind. David Paddock, the nephew of Stephen Paddock, was interviewed after the incident. Present during the interview were very special agents of the FBI. The following is a summary of the information provided and learned during the interview. David advised he was not spoken to. He has not spoken to his uncle since the beginning of June 2017. So the mom was there, the dad was there. Okay. David was in Reno for a convention and met Paddock for dinner. What? Huh. I thought they were in Vegas. Maybe it was something else. And met Paddock for dinner. David said Paddock seemed fine during the dinner and did not notice any abnormal behavior. According to David, his uncle kept to himself, and David described him as wealthy and aloof. Man, I don't even know what that means. Aloof. It's like secretive, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to look it up. Paddock liked to keep to himself, but enjoyed eating at restaurants and taking cruises. All right. David knew Paddock had a girlfriend, but never met her. Okay. So she wasn't there during this. Paddock did not speak in an emotional manner. David stated his family was very direct and did not display much emotion. David never witnessed Paddock being rude or disrespectful to anyone. Paddock was not a religious person, did not belong to any political groups. Okay. Jacob. All right, so that was Reno. It's funny, though. It's in what, same month? June 2017? Let me see real quick if she, just to be somewhat thorough here with this crap, see if that's what she said. July 2016. Okay, so it's different. That was a different trip. All right. So July 2016. I believe one of them was there for that 2016. Oh no, February 2017. Jacob Paddock was interviewed after the incident. Yeah, whatever. Jacob Paddock last saw his uncle in February 2017. Jacob was living in Los Angeles, California, moving back to Florida. His father, Eric Paddock, drove his RV to California to help Jacob move. Jacob and Eric stopped in Las Vegas and had dinner with Paddock at the Wynn Las Vegas. Jacob stated that Paddock had 2 rooms at the Wynn, but he and his father did not stay the night. Oh, there you go. He had 2 rooms. That was kind of a thing of his, apparently. Why? Why was that a thing? That's awkward. But, we see the behavior of that all the way back in the early part of that year. This was a pattern for Paddock. Don't usually hear people mention this much, but he had a pattern of getting 2 rooms, apparently. This is a thing. All right. Jacob believed Paddock received a degree in accounting or business and worked as an accountant at some point. Jacob also knew the majority of the family's wealth was from real estate investment. These people not talk to each other. Like, the FBI is coming through. They're hitting your family up, and they're going one by one. And you guys don't talk to each other. Hey, man, yeah, he was, this kind of guy. He used to do this, used to do that. Yeah, they just asked about his past. He did this, he did that. Yeah, these people don't talk to each other at all. It's weird. It's a weird family. Jacob also knew the majority of the family's wealth was from real estate investments. So the family. Jacob told investigators the family was not very close. What family? Like what family? What are we talking about here? Talking about his family? Um, what are we talking about? We talk about the Paddock family because it looks like the brothers, Bruce and Patrick, were kind of left out of the wealth. Um, I don't know about how much money Bruce had when he died, but it didn't seem like he had much. So what's that about? Anyway, so I guess they're not considered part of the family. That's what it sounds like. Jacob told investigators his family was not very close, only met Paddock 6 or 7 times in his life. Paddock would occasionally speak to Eric on the phone. Last time was during Hurricane Irma. Jacob described. How does he know that? He must see. He talked to his dad. He had to have talked to Eric about this shit, because how would he know that the last time he talked to Eric was during Hurricane Irma? Or did it come up when they were at dinner? I don't know. Jacob described Paddock as eccentric. Of all the other things he described him as, Paddock liked to keep to himself and did not want to be recognized. Yeah, I guess eccentric just means strange. If he hit a large jackpot while gambling, Paddock would decline any photographs or recognition. Jacob said Paddock was a high. Well, that's weird though, because if he's getting involved in these slot tournaments, yeah, you're gonna get recognized. They're gonna post that shit all over the place. That's why they do them. So Jacob said Paddock was a high roller at many casinos in Las Vegas. He said Paddock was careful with his money. Paddock would play machines on nights when his points would be doubled or tripled for complimentary rooms, shows, and meals. Yeah, so if you're spending that much money, you're gambling this fucking hardcore. Why do you have to wait for nights when they're doubling or tripling your comps? Why not just go in anytime and just spend a shit ton of money? I mean, he made it a point to point this out. So, what are we saying here? This guy didn't have as much money as we're talking about. He didn't gamble as much money as we're talking about. He just waited for these double or triple nights to get his comps so he could get high roller status. I don't know. Maybe just did this, I guess, for it would make sense if you did it for the independents, Treasure Island, maybe Wynn, some of those places, or just singled out places, not like MGM or Caesars. It's interesting, though. It's interesting. Paddock did not have any political or religious affiliations that Jacob was aware of. Nobody knew. Jacob never observed Paddock upset or angry with anyone. I love how they asked that. Did you ever see him angry? Vivian Ayers. Paddock's first cousin, was interviewed on several occasions. This is an important one then. After the incident, present during the interview were various investigators with the FBI. The following is a summary of information provided and learned during those interviews. Ayers has known Paddock since they were children. Ayers' mother and Paddock's mother were sisters. Okay. According to Ayers, Paddock did well in school and did not have behavioral issues. Not according to the brother, and that's why I have a hard time believing anything Eric says. Eric said we were bad kids. We were bad kids. We got in trouble. Whatever. Paddock and his brothers were told by their mother that their father died when they were young. Stephen Paddock. How is that? That's not even possible. That's not even. Well, I guess. Okay, yeah, I guess. I guess it is possible. He goes out one day, never comes home. Say, yeah, he fucking passed away. Okay. I'm thinking they, They never knew his father was thinking, but yeah, they did. He was, in fact, in prison at the time. Ayers stated Hudson, Paddock's mother, was angry and bitter because she felt Paddock's father abandoned her and the boys. Why? Why does she go by Hudson? Why does the mom go by Hudson and the kids go by Paddock? Why didn't they change their name? I mean, there was an interview with that was on Truth Seekers channel. I'll just shout her out. It was on Truth Seekers channel because that was a good interview. With a guy who supposedly went to school with Paddock. I should have looked it up, but and had it, had it up here. But the guy stated that Paddock married a girl he went to school with, right? Peggy Okamoto. So Peggy Okamoto, you can find her at that school. I believe it's like Sun Valley, somewhere in Sun Valley, California, and or is it Silver Lake? I don't remember. Somewhere over there near LA. So you can find um, the Peggy Okamoto in there, but you cannot find Stephen Paddock. You'll find a Stephen Smith, which I think is interesting. I also couldn't find Eric Paddock. I couldn't find any Paddocks in that roster for that school. But it had the graduating classes on that website and all the names. The problem with what was said on that, I guess, interview that we're talking about on True Seekers channel with that guy. I don't know who that guy is, but he was right about Peggy Paddock, but I can't prove he was right about Stephen Paddock. And he also mentioned a guy who was Stephen Paddock's best friend, and he mentioned that guy by name. I forgot what his name, William something, and I can't find that guy either. He's not. He's also not on the roster. So, and I looked up a couple of years here and there just in case, got held back a year, moved up a year. Couldn't find him. But I did find a Stephen Smith, which in a way makes a little bit of sense because think about it. Their father's on the FBI's most wanted fucking list. So, and then they moved to a new place. Yeah, chances are, you're probably going to change kids' names a little bit. You might. I don't know if that's what happened, but that's the only way I can explain that. But yeah, couldn't find Stephen Paddock on the roster for that school. Ayers has known Paddock since they were children. Ayers, okay. Let's see. Ayers stated Hudson, Paddock's mother, was angry and bitter because she felt Paddock's father abandoned her and the boys. So why did she change her name and they kept the same name? I don't know how that works, to be honest with you, man. I never had kids. That's why the baby monitor thing kind of threw me for a loop the other day. Hudson worked hard and was a private person. Ayers felt Paddock had the same personality traits as his mother, and they all say the mother's weird. Paddock never mentioned his personal problems to anyone. When Paddock became interested in a subject, he would devote himself to it, but then lose interest. Paddock obtained his pilot's license when he was 17 years old. Wow. Did he? Huh. He enjoyed diving, traveling, and gambling. According to Ayers, Paddock began losing interest in traveling approximately 1 year ago. Why did you stop traveling? Why did you stop traveling? What happened? That's interesting. But your girlfriend still travels, but you stopped. Paddock attended college and later worked for the IRS and Lockheed. Ayers stated Paddock did not like working for other people and began investing in real estate with family members. There you go, grifting on his family members. According to Ayers, there was no criminal intent in Paddock's buying and selling real estate. Ayers was also told that Paddock had made a significant amount of money in the stock market, but was no longer involved in stocks. Okay, so yeah, there's money to be made there too, especially back then. Besides becoming more irritable, Ayers did not notice any significant changes in Paddock's behavior. However, She was concerned for his health because he did not look well. Paddock did not take care of his teeth. Ayers noticed his teeth were either missing or rotten. Someone got a meth habit going, cocaine, doing a few 8 balls here and there. Paddock told her it was because he could not go to the dentist due to his allergies. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. They'll knock you the fuck out. So this lady seemed to know a lot about him. This first cousin, she knew a lot about him. She must have went and visited him. She must be the one in the family that keeps in touch with everybody. I'm guessing. That's the only thing that makes sense there. As primary care physician, Paddock made numerous claims to friends and family that he constantly felt ill, in pain, or fatigue. What would do that? I mean, it could just be a hype. I've known plenty of hypes in my time that just always complaining about bogus diseases. I don't. But yeah, I mean, so the dude was losing his teeth, and all of a sudden in pain a lot. I don't know. That's pointing to drugs to me, but I don't know. A doctor in Las Vegas was identified as Paddock's primary care physician, and records were obtained through federal grand jury subpoena. An interview was conducted with him by agents of the FBI. The physician relayed he last saw Paddock as a patient on or around October 2016. Okay, so exactly a year before, for an annual checkup. He he didn't make the next one. He recalled the only major. I wonder if he had one scheduled. They didn't make it to. He recalled the only major ailment Paddock had was a slip and fall accident at a casino approximately 3 years earlier, which caused a muscle tear. Yeah, muscle tear. That's not that bad of it. It can be bad, but usually those heal pretty well, especially after a year. Uh, which we don't know when I don't know when it happened. I mean, I think it was out there in the reports, but even if it happened October 2016, it would have healed by then. Physician described Paddock as odd in behavior. So I guess all the bullshit about him having a bad back, I mean, I guess it's possible. It could have jacked up his. This guy's just saying there's a muscle tear. He's not saying there are any slip discs or anything like that. Let's see. A physician described Paddock as odd in behavior with little emotion shown. Fucking weirdo. He believed Paddock may have had bipolar disorder. However, Paddock did not want to discuss that topic further with him. Well, you're not you're just a primary care guy. You're not a whatever. Paddock also refused antidepressant medication. Why are you giving antidepressant medication? I would, well, I don't know, whatever. But accepted prescriptions for anxiety. It's kind of, all right. Yeah, it's kind of, a lot of that's the same stuff, I think. He noted Paddock seemed fearful of medications, often refusing to take them. He did not believe Paddock was abusing any medications. All right. All right. Well, just trying to think, man. That's a little strange. That's a little goofy because he was using meds, but huh. So Paddock purchased at least 67 firearms since the early 1980s. Yeah, who gives a shit, man? It doesn't matter what he did since the 80s. Between 82 and 2001, Paddock purchased 17 handguns. Irrelevant. Beginning in October 2016, Paddock began buying firearms at a faster rate, consisting mainly of rifles. That is relevant. Of the 67 firearms known to law enforcement, oh wow, so they're hinting that there might be more. 24 were recovered inside the Mandalay Bay. 18 were recovered in Paddock's Mesquite residence, and 7 were recovered in Paddock's Reno residence. Of the firearms Paddock purchased, 18 are unaccounted for. It is unknown if these firearms were sold or traded. Information obtained by the ATF. All right, so I don't know. I don't know how Nevada gun laws actually work, so I'm not really too sure about that. Um, it's not like you're going to go after him. He's gone. So yeah, okay. Model undercover. That's interesting. That's kind of a notorious, nefarious wording. Charter Arms, Beretta, Smith and Wesson, Beretta. He liked his Berettas, man. Um, Purchased in '86. Okay, so yeah, he saw Lethal Weapon. He got a little Lethal Weapon action up in him, and decided to mimic that. That's cool. Smith and Wesson. Uh, all right, Colt, Smith and Wesson. Uh, 10 millimeter. What? Let's see, Taurus, Smith and Wesson, Stayer. So we're going. This is all the way back 2000, 2001. He bought a Glock. Um, Sturm Ruger. He bought a Ruger. Wow, that's crazy. Um, Zig Zauer. Okay, so that would have been a that would have been a decent gun at the time. Beretta, Pietro. Don't know much about that. Remington Arms, Mossberg. So now we're hitting 2016. So we see the Remington Arms Colt. Um, yeah, I don't know much about all the numbers on these, so not too sure. Daniel Defense, I liked his Daniel Defense, Mossberg, uh, DPM. No idea who that is. Daniel Defense again, Zig Zauer. Um, which again, if these are later models, Zig Zauers are they're junk from what I understand. Then Dan Defense, LWRC, yeah, whatever. I don't know why it's got the footnote here because there isn't one. Um, or are these the ones that were found in the room? These are probably the ones that were found in the room, most likely. Yeah. So it looks like I remember this DD5 on something. So yeah, these look like the ones that are found in the room. LMT. So let's see. You start buying a lot of guns. 7.62, uh, Mossberg. These are shotguns. So he bought a lot of stuff that he didn't have up in that room as well. Um, yeah, he bought a lot of stuff that he didn't have up in that room. Well, towards the end here, shit, everything was in that room. 9, 9. So same month, he bought two at the same time. Uh, this FNH, yeah, okay. Month apart. That's 2 months apart. 2 months apart. Um, why are these out of date? Why are these dates out of order? What the fuck? They're all in order down here, and then all of a sudden you get to this, it's out of order. Um, 630, 630. So you bought these two at the same time. 525. Do we have another 505? No, we don't have another 505. Just this one. I wonder if that's a misprint. I wonder if that's supposed to be 705. I wonder if that's a misprint. Because it looks like he got in the habit of buying two at once. Bought three right here. Colt. And this Landtac wasn't in the room. 223. Huh. Um, 22nd, POF. Yeah, so a lot of these guns were up in the room, man. So this does start to look a little damning as you get through all this. 322, 322, 322, Mossberg. I think those are, yeah, 12 gauge shotgun. 556. All right, 762. So, and then 319, 319, 319, bought two at the same time. Um, Shotgun and a 556, 302. He bought, yeah, one of the guns that was in the room. Oh, wow, he bought four at the same time. Um, March 2nd. And three were in the room. Okay. Four were in the room. He bought five. Oh, shit. He bought five at the same time. Wow. 556s. Damn. This fucking guy. 218, 2017. He bought two. And 215. Okay, he bought two. So 213 didn't. That one wasn't in the room. 202. One of those was in the room. 125. That was in the room. 106. That was in the room. 2016 we get into, and then that's where we start to see where things are not ending up in the room. game defense. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see which gun this is. I'll have to go back and look. 1123, because apparently he liked this gun. I mean, this is the only one. Oh no, he has Smith and Wesson up here who's in the room as well. So he liked that one too. It looks like, and that was bought in 2000. Man, that's an old gun. That was one of his older guns. But then he had a whole string of shit here that didn't end up in that room. And then 2016, so I'm guessing 2016 still, if we're going narrative, still didn't plan this till this wasn't an idea, not necessarily a plan, but this wasn't even an idea until 12/31/2016. So I would say we'd have to figure out what happened in his life 12/31/2016, and that might give an idea as to possibly a motive, or when stress levels is, according to the FBI, his stress started going up. But yeah, it looks like 12/31. This shit up here, 11/23. I mean, he didn't bring a lot of this shit, so he wasn't buying multiple guns to do what he did. This is where he started buying the guns that were used to do what he did. The grouping here isn't very good though, because you got like 6 days on, or yeah, I don't know what, but you got a week in between these basically. And then here you got a big gap in time there, 19 days. So what, 3 weeks? So you got about 3 weeks there. And then you go into the second. So that ends up with, about a week. Right? Waits another week, buys another couple. Then we got about 10, 11 days. So almost a week and a half, buys another one that did not end up in the room. Then a couple days later, buys 2, end up in the room. Then 3 days later, he buys 2 to end up in the room. Then we're looking a couple weeks, and then he buys 5 that end up in the room. I would say, if anything, if this points to anything, I would say this area right here would be a major turning point in his thought process, or possibly this spot right here. But I'm not too sure about that, because there was a little bit of time between some of these, between this and so what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a big bulk of what was going on here. I would say this right here is where he started buying in bulk. He just said, "Fuck it," buying a bunch of shit to do something stupid. But it's hard to say. They're all 5.56s, so these are not necessarily the ones that were used for to fire down at the crowd. These are the tank stuff. They got 02, 19, 22. So these were the grouping here is very close. He bought these all the same, but these are like shotguns. So he still wasn't really planning. I don't know. It's hard to make sense of this, right? This LMT ended up there, but it's 1 out of 3 guns that he bought. And actually, I would count these too. I'd say 5 guns he bought within that period, within whatever thought was going through his head. And so on the 22nd, he bought 3. That's what we just was looking at. So the one on 5, this wasn't used. Probably not something he was thinking about. Right here, though, 5/22, that's another turning point, because then we end up with bought 1 that was used, bought 3 days later, bought 3 of them. 2 of them were used. This is a 223. Not sure why he didn't use that, but he didn't, or he didn't bring it up there. And then on the 30th, right, for the next month. So he let a month go by, a month and 5 days, before he went and another spending spree, bought a couple more. And then, like I said, I think this is probably 705. I'm guessing that, or it's just out of order and it's actually supposed to be right here. Um, but with this pattern, it looks like this is probably 705. About two guns. So that was pretty close after this. And then 901, 928. Yeah, it's strange. It's hard to make anything out of that. The investigative process required information to be obtained from numerous sources and venues to include, but not limited to, hotels and casinos, firearm-related businesses, residences of Stephen Paddock, vehicles of Stephen Paddock, internet providers, telephone companies, online retail businesses, email companies, financial institutions. Law enforcement personnel served approximately 1,000 legal processes during the course of the investigation. These legal processes were used to obtain information or items related to the investigation. These legal documents included, but are not limited to, administrative subpoenas, court orders, search warrants, grand jury subpoenas. All right, this is something I've never actually looked at. I just fucking glanced right over this shit because I'm not a pathologist, so kind of out of my lane here. But on October 6th, 2017, approximately 425 under the coroner, case number, incident number. An autopsy was performed on the body of Paddock at by Lisa Gavin. All right, so Lisa Gavin, I'm guessing, is one of their top people. I have to go back and look at the because she did some of the autopsies. Go back and look at the autopsies, and kind of curious who else she dealt with as far as those autopsies. I'm not saying that they're more important than the rest. It's just that it'd be interesting to see how that panned out. Stephen Paddock, 4953, 253. So let's see what year. Let's see. So he would have been 71. It would have been 18. Is my calculator off, or is it actually 71? This guy, man, he would have been surprised he didn't make it into Vietnam. Let's see, male, Caucasian, 73 inches in height. Oh man, not sure what that is. I think everyone was saying that's 6'4", 70 or 6'1", 73 inches. Let's see, 6 feet is 72. So yeah, 6'1", 224 pounds. Big boy, not gigantic, but he's a big boy. Gray hair, gray eyes, brown. Wasn't his hair brown? Eye color. I know everyone's arguing about the eye color. Okay, so that there is interesting that they actually posted his eye color as brown. I always thought the coloration on the deal was a little different. Let's see. Real quick here. Let me see if I can. Yep, look brown there. I don't know if that's going to actually blow up for me or not. No, it's a fucking video. Yeah, get off this thing. Okay, let's see what else we can find. This guy had blue eyes. Why does... Okay, so that's Wikipedia. This is a different picture here. This also says Wikipedia. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, we can't look. We can't zoom in on that thing. Let's see if that gives us a picture. Nah, I ain't gonna give us a picture either. Son of a bitch. Again, lighting plays a big role in this. So it's whoops. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. I didn't want that. Get out of that. All right. Lighting's gonna play a big picture or a big part in this. So, depending on when these photos were taken, um, so that's kind of an issue. Let's see. What the fuck is this guy? What the hell? Eyes closed. And there's the dad, and that's the same picture. Uh, and then I don't know if let's see if this comes up. Can't really tell. I would say that's. I'd say you can't really tell there. There's Eminem's version of them. Um, Trump. Fuck. Um, it's wearing a nice little FBI jacket though, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna see anything with. Oh, the mistress. That was a good story. That was just a story. Color eyes his brother have. This dude looks like blue on him. Oops. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything, other than this driver's license photo. They look brown in there. So yeah, I'd say that's probably brown. Um, these photos here aren't that good. Super pack bought a high powered rifle. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what that even said, but whatever. I just want to see a picture, man. What the fuck? Give me the picture. Um, yeah, that's pretty inconclusive, man. It's the gun story about the stuff off of. I don't know why they're showing the people. Who cares? Mary Lou Danley. That's an interesting picture. Oh man, I don't know if I've seen this photo before. Huh. I mean, looks like I got body there, body there, body there, body there, maybe. This looks like that matches the map. One there, one there, one here. Yeah, it looks like that all matches the map. In fact, I know who most of these are by name at this point. Know who that is, know who that is. So let's see. What the fuck, man? What are we looking at? What are you guys showing me here? Oh, there's a house. Got any Anran cameras anywhere? I don't see any. I don't see any cameras anywhere. I mean, I don't see the owl either here, but yeah, I don't see any Anran cameras here. I'm not sure. Uh, shop Paddock left the shop after buying the mystery weapon, but it's unclear whether he left the rifle at home. Pictured. Okay, so they're saying that this is a mesquite. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a security system on this door anywhere around here. So I don't know if the Anran came from the whole house or the Anran was something he picked up just for this. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not seeing. Oops, didn't want to click on that. I don't know what that is. I didn't. I don't see. Well, there's the yearbook. That's interesting. Yeah, I know. You guys want to advertise and shit. I get it. So here's the yearbook. Stephen Paddock. It was in the yearbook as Paddock. What fucking yearbook is this? Uh, an old yearbook photo has emerged showing an emotional face. Fuck it. It's a picture, dude. Come on, give the kid some credit, dude. Fucking, she's emotionless. Does that mean she's a fucking, nah, that's dumb. Let's see. So, as emerged emotionless face of Las Vegas killer Stephen Paddock, that'd be fucked up. You go start getting a hold of some of these people and asking them about him. He graduated from Los Angeles Unified School District's John H. Francis Polytechnic High School in Sun Valley, 1971. Okay, yeah, Sun Valley. I thought that's what it was. Um, Richard Alarcon, who went to school with Paddock, is quoted in the dailynews.com as saying, I just recognize his face, his hair color, his eyes. He always had big eyes when he was a kid. The face was recognizable. Do you have big eyes? I don't see big eyes, dude. But all right, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Um, he added Paddock would be the last person he picked to launch a massacre. Police know how the attack unfolded, but they're still trying to piece together a motive. Las Vegas Under Sheriff Kevin McMahill, all of the God, let's get rid of this thing. What the fuck? All the checks that we have been able to do other than routine traffic violation here in Nevada and nationwide, working with our, whatever. It's one of those really sad tracks. Yeah, of course. Speaking in the aftermath shooting, he said, if you told me an asteroid fell to Earth, yeah, okay, that's the brother. Yeah, we heard that. Fucking stupid. Um, that's interesting. I've never seen this. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Maybe I did and just didn't care. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, block this shit. Okay, so let's get rid of this. I don't need this. I don't need this. All right. Oops, I don't need that either. Let's see. Yeah, there's not much here. I thought there was another photo I wanted to look at, but I'm not even. Oh, this one here. Yeah, this thing right here. If I can actually get the photo. Yeah, it's pretty inconclusive as far as I'm concerned. So, what color eyes did he have? We don't even fucking know. Uh, oh shoot! You know what? Oh man, I just realized I went through all that and I wasn't even showing those on the video. Sorry, everybody. Anyone who watches this? Let's see. We want to share this. Man. All right. So, yeah, this is the school one um, that I saw. Uh, I was reading from. I read a little bit of that article. That's where I was reading that from. But yeah, so all we really have here, the one I started with there, was pretty inconclusive, man. You can't really tell what color his eyes are. Um, but we do have the driver's license, which is, let's see if this comes up. Let's see if we can find a bigger photo of that. I know the first one was actually pretty decent. Um, it came up. These kind of inconclusive. Um, but here you go. Looks brown to me. Looks fucking brown. Again, background colors, stuff like that. Camera taking it, the photo. A lot of things have changed, man. Red eye stuff. I mean, you know. But to me, that looks brown. So far, nothing wrong. Um, I believe the problem people have is not this here. It's that the dude, the corpse on the floor has looks like it has different eye color because people are taking pixels and trying to figure out what colors pixels are and stuff. Let's see, body bag seal number removed at yeah, okay, body bag, uh, clothed body, pre-cleaned unclothed body, post-cleaned unclothed body. What does that mean? Oh, photography. That's what I took picture of. Took a picture of his ass naked before they cleaned him off and after they cleaned him off. Took pictures of all this shit. Injuries, X-rays. Um, all right, the following persons were in attendant: Clark County Coroner Fudenberg, forensic pathologist Dr. Gavin, Detective Alsup, Detective Cullen, um, SCSA Fletcher. Not sure what SCSA is. Um, God, I'm running a blank on that. FBRT agents too. So let's see. Real quick. I'm gonna do a search on SCSA. See what the hell that is. South Coast Safety. No, I don't think so. It's a medical dispensary. That's funny. That's hilarious. Um, let's see. SCSA. SCS. No. Um, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I'm not even getting anything. Okay. FBI ERT agents, forensic technician Rosales. Um, so the following items of evidence were retained by the FBI's evidence recovery team: one brown shirt, one brown long sleeve shirt, one pair of black pants. All right. One pair of white socks, one pair of black slip-on shoes. Didn't do the black socks, man. Not one of those kind of guys. I'm actually shocked. One pair of blue underwear. They wore blue chonies, man. What the fuck? Paper tissue from the decedent's ears. Print exemplars. Now, I know somebody went into that. I'm not even sure what the fuck that is. I guess, is that fingerprints? Let's look it up real quick. Print exemplars. Fingerprint identification. All right. Say fingerprint his ass. One projectile recovered from the decedent's head. All right. Yeah. As you would. Synopsis, October 6, 2017. Detectives from the LVMPD, along with LVMPD crime scene analysts, attended the autopsy of Stephen Paddock at the coroner. Also present were members of the FBI evidence recovery team who retained all collected evidence. The exam room was secured by Clark County Coroner John Fudenberg. Forensic pathologist Dr. Lisa Gavin performed the autopsy with one assistant. The decedent was x-rayed, photographed, and cleaned prior to Dr. Gavin's exam. Preliminarily, the injuries noted were on the posterior of both calves and a gunshot wound to the upper palate inside the decedent's mouth. Let's see. So upper calves. Huh. Did he land on that gun? Was that gun on the floor? And that's weird. It's weird. Huh. That's interesting. That's kind of a big deal. Posterior of both calves. Trying to think how that would happen, right? So the calves are in the back. I mean, he landed on the gun, maybe. Yeah, maybe just landing on the gun gave him a bruise. All right, well, let's keep going. The upper palate inside the decedent's mouth with obvious damage to the upper teeth. The cause of Paddock's death was an intraoral gunshot wound, and the manner of death was ruled as suicide. See Appendix C for audit. Yeah, whatever. Conclusion: October 1st, 2017, Stephen Paddock committed the largest mass casualty shooting in this country's history. 58 people were killed. Approximately 887 people sustained documented injuries. Of those, 869 people, 413 sustained a gunshot wound or shrapnel type injury. While en route to the scene, many investigators heard multiple chaotic emergency only radio calls coming out in reference to active shooters at different properties along Las Vegas Strip, fires breaking out at certain properties, actual shooters that were inside the Las Vegas Village venue at the time of the shooting. Early reporting from national news outlets reported that ISIS was claiming responsibility for the shooting. I believe they did. The investigation revealed none of this information was accurate. I believe ISIS did. I could have sworn they did, but it was I forget who publicized that. That was on one of their news media stations, I believe. Paddock began stockpiling weapons approximately 1 year prior to the shooting. His behavior began to change. According to Danley, their relationship became very businesslike, and she became almost subservient to him. He began purchasing semi-automatic rifles and hundreds of gun-related items almost daily. Paddock researched various open-air venues such as Fenway Park, La Jolla Beach, and other open-air concert venues. His internet searches also included biggest open-air concert venues in the USA. So the Biggest Bear may have been a mistype. He may have typed in biggest and bear popped up for some weird ass reason. How crowded does Santa Monica Beach get? Again, I don't think that's relevant, and many others. During his stay at Mandalay Bay in September 2017, Danley described Paddock's behavior strange as they were staying in room 60235. She observed him looking out the windows, which also overlooked the Las Vegas Village venue. She mentioned how he would move around the room, looking at the venue from different angles and positions. In late August or September 2017, Paddock told Danley she should go to the late August or September. All right, well, yeah, she couldn't remember when he fucking decided to ship her off. All right, so the picture they're painting here is that they stayed at the Mandalay Bay in September 2017. Then this goofy person couldn't remember whether it was August or in September that he told her she should go to the Philippines, visit her family. So she doesn't know whether it was before this stay or I guess it could have been before. This could have been September 30th, I guess. All right. Paddock told Danley that she should go to the Philippines and visit her family. Danley traveled to the Philippines, departing on September 15th and scheduled to return on October 4th. Paddock completed 3 wire transfers during this time, totaling $150,000. Each wire transfer was for $50,000. All right. I thought we had 120,000 in the report saying that's how much went to her, but all right. I have to go back and look later. On October 1st, between 10:05, 10:16, Paddock fired approximately 1,057 rounds into the crowd at the Las Vegas Village venue down the 100-wing hallway of the 32nd floor and at fuel tanks connected to McCarran International Airport, all from inside rooms 32135 and 32134 of the Mandalay Bay. At approximately 10:18, heat detection indicators from inside the room 135 indicated there was no other movement from inside the room. First of all, heat detectors would not correlate with movement necessarily. I mean, unless there's something in that room or those rooms that they don't talk about. But I'm thinking the only heat detector they had in there was thermostat. And thermostat would not correlate to movement. But the way this report is written, I mean, they wrote a lot of this stuff stupid. So I don't know. Leading investigators believe Paddock was alone and at that point already dead. They never talked about this heat detection bullshit. I don't remember ever hearing that in any of the videos. So I don't know where the fuck they're getting that from. But whatever. 7 strike team led by Sergeant Joshua Bitsko and SWAT officer Levi Hancock breached the interior. Oh man, am I still? Shit, I'm failing. Like last night was all screwed up too, man. Yeah, I'm really failing here. We don't need to show that anymore. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? Hold on. Let me get the screen share back up. I am all screwed up, man. I'm on a mission to get through this, man. I'm just not. Okay, so right now I have it on a video, so it'll show that. I gotta click over to that. All right. Anyway, So yeah, we're down here. I just went through a whole bunch of this crap. This is the conclusion part of it. Um, anyway, infrared. Why would they have infrared in the room? Like, why would any of these rooms have infrared? I mean, I don't know if this hotel's actually spying on its guests or not, because that would imply something very drastic and sinister on the part of this hotel. I don't think they'd admit it, if that was the case. Um, there's a reason they don't have cameras in the hallways of those, and in the rooms. I mean, they better not have them in the rooms. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just that we got heat detection indicators from um, inside the room. 135 indicated there was no other movement from inside the room. Uh, Heat detection indicators, right? So it's not saying infrared. Fuck, I don't know, man. Um, hey, um, I don't know, man. Is infrared a does it detect heat? I guess, yeah. I guess, but I mean, you think that they put those something like that in every one of these rooms? That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, that's nuts. That's nuts. I don't buy it. I just, I mean, the simple solution here is that these dumbasses wrote this all stupid, and that because most of this report is written really stupid, and the heat detection is the thermostat, and the thermostat didn't have, you know, um, like I've been saying, man, he was firing this gun inside this room for a while, and as he's firing that gun, that son of a bitch, because see, this is approximately 22:18, right? So if he's firing a gun inside the room, it's going to heat up, man. It's going to heat up big time. And, because he's, at least at the beginning of this shooting, I believe he was firing inside the room with very limited glass being broken, until he hit that 134 window and he knocked that out. There wouldn't be a lot of airflow. And then at the time when they came into the actual room, that door was closed. So there still wouldn't be a lot of airflow. I'm guessing he closed that door because he didn't want that. Because what that would have done was that would have blown those curtains all over the fucking place, and caused him some issues. Plus, those curtains were actually blowing outside of the room, so it would have caused a problem with him grabbing the curtains and glass and shattering and continuing to shatter and stuff like that. Um, so I'm guessing he didn't want that curtain really blowing around like that. He didn't want that airflow. Um, but at the beginning there, he was firing. I believe he was firing the gun from inside the room, right? So you wouldn't have had a lot of the heat going outside of that room. You'd have all the heat collecting within the room. So the temperature in that room would definitely go up. I mean, a few degrees at least, man, it would go up. And, and even a few degrees is a big fucking deal. So, I would, I would just think, I mean, this is just written stupid. If that's the case, it's just written badly. I would think what would happen is about 218, the room started to cool down because there's no more shots coming out. It took another, 2.5 minutes or whatever for enough of an airflow to come through there to where, we no longer have a spike in the thermostat. But again, this whole thing is kind of fucked up because I mean I think it's irrelevant to be honest with you, but it's kind of fucked up because the way they wrote this, no other movement from inside the room, and then they're also saying that this is what they used to determine that they were going to do that there was no more shooting coming out, so they didn't have to be in a hurry to our sprinkler detects heat also, I think, but movement. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Movement. I don't know if sprinklers detect heat or if they detect smoke. I don't know. I remember one person, trying to describe how a fire detector works, and I've gotten to the point where I don't trust anything that person says anymore. So, I honestly don't know. Someday maybe I'll look it up. Anyway, moving on, because that's just, I don't know. I that's stupid. Heat detection, the movement. You know, um, I mean, they could have just said sensors inside the room, detected no other movement. I mean, that at least that would have kind of kept me guessing a little bit. But um, well, sprinklers are hooked up to the smoke alarms, right? Aren't they? Um, isn't that how that system works in those? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about that stuff. And the person that thinks they know a lot about that stuff, I don't trust. So, at approximately 10:57, a strike team led by Joshua Bitsko and SWAT officer Levi Hancock breached the interior stairwell door that Paddock had secured with an L bracket. Let's see, so 10:57. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, I guess that would be right, because then 11:20 is when they did the breach their way into room 135 to discover Paddock already dead on the floor, with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head and revolver Paddock used lying a foot away on the floor. In the days, weeks, months that followed, there was an exhaustive investigation completed by the LVMPD and the FBI into Paddock's life, which resulted in the below listed findings. Oh, shit. Paddock acted alone despite early reports of multiple shooters in different locations. No evidence exists to substantiate any of those reports. Thousands of hours of digital media were reviewed, and after all the interviews were conducted, no evidence exists to indicate Paddock conspired with or acted in collusion with anyone else. This includes video surveillance, recovered DNA, and analysis of cellular phones and computers belonging to Paddock. So, I don't know. I think somebody else was up in that room at some point, and by saying that, that does not contradict necessarily what they're saying here, and that's why I think it's a very good possibility. Um, no evidence exists that Paddock conspired or acted in conclusion with anyone else. Let's say you had a hooker up in that room, right? She's not conspiring, she's not colluding with them, she's just doing her thing. Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, but this is actually written pretty well, all right? Because, just this sentence here does not necessarily indicate that nobody else was with him. It just indicates that nobody colluded with him or conspired with him, is what they're saying. Um, I don't know how DNA, and stuff like that would give you that, because you're going to find DNA from other people at that point, including Mary Lou Danley, stuff like that. I mean, you know, it could be said that the person that, a person that loads bullets that are used to kill a person would fall under some, some sort of thing. But, I don't know. I don't know. No suicide note or manifesto was found. Of all the evidence collected from rooms 32, 135, 134, there was no note or manifesto stating Paddock's intentions. Um, Now imagine, like if there is actually a manifesto there, and there is an actual reasoning behind this, and they just don't want to share it. The only handwritten documentation found in either room was a small note indicating measurements and distances related to the use of rifles. That is an incorrect statement, right? That's a lie. Or it's just an incomplete statement that they fucked up, because there was a note saying unplugged cell phones within this report. So either that unplugged cell phones thing was not a thing, or this is not a correct statement. Yeah, it's always weird to me how they didn't grill her some more, but whatever. There's no evidence or radicalization or ideology to support any theory that Paddock supported or followed any hate group. or any these days you don't need fucking you just have to be a certain ethnicity to fall under a hate group, or any domestic or foreign terrorist organization. Despite numerous interviews with Paddock's family and gambling contacts, investigators could not link Paddock to any specific ideology. Just the fact that like Trump would have put him in this hate group category these days. I love how people are redefining what a hate group is. Let's see. Paddock committed no crimes leading up to the October 1 mass shooting. All the weapons and ammunition he purchased were purchased legally. Um, were they? Wait. Is that a false statement? I don't know. Maybe it's legal to purchase the ammunition that he bought from Haig, but it definitely wasn't legal for Haig to be selling it. So I don't know if that's even an accurate statement. This includes all the purchases Paddock made at gun stores as well as online purchases. Paddock did not commit a crime until he fired the first round into the crowd at Las Vegas Village. Um, yeah, I guess you can transport. I get actually no. Wait, I don't know about the laws in Nevada. Fuck. I don't know if you can legally transport bullets, ammunition across state lines. So if that was the case, then this right here is not even accurate as far as the statement goes. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was transporting, I don't know what they call ammunition across state lines. I don't know if that's legal over there in Nevada and Arizona. I'm not sure. In reference to 2000 investigative leads, plus, I mean, some of these guns had to come from Texas. So again, I don't know. I don't know their gun laws. I know in California, man, you can't do that shit. You get fried for that. In reference to 2000 investigative leads, 22,000 hours of video. What the fuck is it? 252,000 images obtained. Yes, and we got like fucking eight. And approximately 1,000 served legal processes. Nothing was found to indicate motive on the part of Paddock or that he acted with anyone else. What's funny to me is the FBI had one job. You had one fucking job, and this is it. And you guys couldn't pull it off. You guys couldn't fucking do it. Oh, what a failure that was. But I mean, either failure on purpose or failure, because they just couldn't do it. I don't know. Security officer Campos was not shot with a BB gun, but rather sustained a gunshot wound from one of the rounds fired by Paddock down the hallway of the 100 wing on the 32nd floor. Security officer Campos did, in fact, have a pre-planned vacation to Mexico to go visit his father, and security officer Campos asked law enforcement for permission to make this trip. Yeah, you just let him go. Fuck it. Oh my God. One aspect of the investigation focused on Paddock's financials. Although Paddock's liquid wealth declined prior to 1 October, the investigation proved Paddock was self-funded through his gambling, and no, you don't win gambling, and past real estate transactions. He was indebted to no one and paid all of his gambling debts off prior to the shooting. Although investigators were told early on in the investigation, Paddock had a bank account frozen for high dollar transfers. It was determined this information was false for 2 years preceding the incident. Um, for the 2 years. Okay, so 2 years they didn't freeze shit, but investigators were told early on in the investigation. So that's his ex-wife, Peggy, I believe, said that. I don't know. I think we might have a statement from her. I don't remember. Um, yeah, I believe she said that the accounts were frozen. Let's see. It was false for the 2 years preceding this incident. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. He had it, 10 years ago. He was moving around a little too much money, made the FBI or the IRS uncomfortable. Indicators of intent. As stated earlier in this report, investigators were unable. You had one job, fuckers. Were unable to uncover or discover what Paddock's motive may have been. While motive may have eluded investigators, there were certain indicators of intent shown by Paddock which lead up to the mass shooting. Paddock had reservations for a hotel. Would have been nice to know this up top, but during the Lollapalooza Festival held at Grant Park in Chicago. Okay, so Grant Park. Of course, it's not what he looked up at Grant Park. He looked up some other music fucking festival. I don't remember seeing Lollapalooza up in all that bullshit. So where'd they get this from? They didn't show this to us. Yeah, they didn't show that to us. So, and then Grant Park did not look like it had some tall buildings around it. So I don't know if this is accurate. Well, if this is, if there's anything going on here. Paddock specifically requested a room overlooking the venue when he made the reservation. The reservation was canceled 2 days prior to the check-in date. They didn't show this to us. He did look at a room over there, so I don't know if that room overlooked Grant Park. I guess I could look into that, but I don't know if I really care because I don't believe that this is a thing. But he never looked up Lollapalooza. We did not see any searches for Lollapalooza within this report. Paddock made lodging reservations during Life's Beautiful Music Festival held in downtown Las Vegas. The festival was also an open-air music venue attended by thousands of people. Paddock requested units overlooking the venue. Now that's interesting because there, until recently, now this year and last year, there are now very, very high end casinos in that area. But at this time, there wasn't any. They both opened the last, basically this year, actually. Paddock reserved 3 different units during this period, all face the venue. It was 4. It was 4. I don't know why they're hiding one of them. So that might be interesting to look into that, dig into that. Paddock was observed in video surveillance transporting several suitcases from his vehicle to the units he reserved. Yeah, I didn't see that many suitcases. Not enough for what he did in the Route 91. Paddock was alone for the trip, was never accompanied by anyone for more than a casual conversation. Is that what you fucking call it? Okay, so are they talking about he was alone for the trip and was never accompanied by anyone for more than a casual? Are they talking about while he was up here at the Life is Beautiful in the Ogden? Because that is possible. That's very possible. But when he got to the Mandalay, I don't believe that. Investigators have been unable to determine if Paddock intended an attack during this festival or if he used it as a means to plan a future attack. Okay, so yeah. So he was never accompanied by anybody at the Life is Beautiful. I guess, yeah. And he wasn't even there, dude. He never even stayed really in any of those rooms. So yeah, I believe that. Paddock conducted several internet searches while planning his actions. Search terms included open air venue. See, I don't like this, man. I don't like when they word things like this. While planning his actions, how do you know what he was planning? Like, how do you know he was planning this shit? How do you know he wasn't just fucking looking shit up, thinking, well, maybe someday in the future I'm going to do some stupid shit, or I just want to know what these guys do. I mean, that line should not be there. Because said he conducted searches, prior to these actions. Search terms included open air concert venues, Las Vegas SWAT tactics, because that's like that goes into theory right there. That goes into basically theory territory, hypothesis, whatever. Las Vegas SWAT tactics, weapons, and explosives. Paddock also searched for various gun stores. He bought a lot of guns. Gives a shit. Paddock purchased over 55 firearms, which were mostly rifles and various calibers, from October 2016 to September 2017. Was it 55? Holy shit. I didn't think I went through that many. He bought over 100 firearm-related items through various retailers during that period. During a stay in early September 2017, Paddock requested specific rooms that overlook Las Vegas Village. During a stay in Paddock requested specific rooms. So he had 2 rooms there too. Is that what we're saying? Again, you got to take all this with a grain of salt because it's written like dog shit. But specific rooms. That's interesting, right? So he had, while he was here in September, he had 2 rooms also. Maybe he snores like a freight train. So he has to give Danley her own room. Let's see. According to Danley, Paddock spent time looking at the Las Vegas Village venue from different angles and windows inside the room. Okay, so then we go to lock interrogation. So I finished this out. That was kind of the idea, and we already hit up the lock interrogation, so I don't have to do that anymore. While we're going through the deal there. We do have. Oh shit! Fuck this. Again, this is out of my ballpark. Um, let's see, Clark County, Stephen Paddock, Tiffany Brown, investigator, reported by dispatch. Las Vegas. Reference number, call time, dispatch time. A call, daytime 10-2, 11:15 a.m. Dispatch date and time 11:2. Okay. Arrival date and time. What the fuck? I don't even know what any of this means. Let's see. Date and time of death 10-2, 12 p.m. Yeah. All right. 64 years old, male quick. I know people have problems with that, but I don't have a fucking problem with that. I don't care. That's dumb. Let's see. So height 73 inches. Social security number. There's social security number. Let's see. Weight 224. Brown shirt, black pants, underwear, socks, shoes, black gloves. Impounded by FBI at the scene. Okay. Location of death: Mandalay Bay Casino, room 32135. Pronounced by Tiffany Brown, Clark County Coroner Office. So this is actually the coroner, and then up there you had the investigation part of it. So this is just the pronouncement of death, I guess. Incident Mandalay Bay. Yeah, okay, don't care. FBI civil ID. FBI what? Identified by FBI civil ID. Okay, that must be a department, or that's okay. Yeah, it's the people who ID'd him using fingerprints. It took them a while. Shit, they didn't identify this guy until December 11th. Wow. What the fuck? That took a while. Whoops. What the hell? I didn't mean to do that. I don't know, dude. I'm not, like I said, this is out of my ballpark, but this is crazy. Skateboard. Oh, it's funny. Well, not funny. It's sad and morbid, but motorized wheelchair. Holy shit. Yeah, dude. That took them that long to identify him. So, they knew who he was, I guess, or they were guessing who he was at this point, but they didn't for sure know who he was until 12/11. Damn, dude. That man, that's weird, dude. That's notification. That's weird. I don't. And then there's Lisa Ann Gavin. She's the one who did the autopsy. Okay, but that's crazy. That is crazy. That's very crazy. That's probably when they got him back, but that's crazy. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Somebody walked they did a Forrest Gump run across the country to bring him to Virginia. What the fuck? That's crazy. Oh shit. Oh, I don't want to read this shit. So it says, oh my god. This is stuff I never really got into. Let's see how much of this is left, because if this is too much, yeah, I don't want to get into this. I was hoping I was done, but I'm not. This sucks. So that's something that's interesting, though. Yeah. The FBI's got shit to do, right? They're a little busy. They're tracking down the meme moms over there at the fucking Capitol riot. Old ladies at the Capitol. At this point, they really didn't have that going on, but shit, man. They got shit to do. There's there's people doing weird shit around the country that certain people don't like. That's crazy though, right? They didn't release clothing. What the fuck? I can't even imagine like what the rationale is there. Because I don't remember what date the brother got the urn, right? So it would be weird if they actually toasted this body before before this date right here, but they probably did. I mean, they probably fired up that toaster on this day, man. And let's see, what day is this? 10/2, 10/2, 10/2. Yeah, but I don't know what time when the autopsy itself was. I mean, we'll get down into it eventually here. I just don't want to. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here. But damn, dude, how do you explain that shit? Oh, that's right. Yeah, they shipped off his brain, dude. They shipped his brain off. It's sitting over by JFK's brain somewhere. That's crazy. But yeah, that's nuts. I I don't understand how the FBI took. Oh shit! It took them like 2 months to get the fingerprints, man. No wonder they can't find a fucking motive, man. If it takes you 2 months to wheel fingerprints all the way to Virginia just to get a match, I mean, fuck, the LVMPD could have probably done that in minutes. What? Oh, what the fuck? So that would explain a couple other things. Because somebody was I've been in a little bit of a discussion about some of the evidence they took and the DNA they took as far as the door handle they took out and checking the DNA evidence on that and the timing of that versus the timing of some of the reports that were done and the witness statements. But dude, I mean, if it took them that long just to do the fingerprints of the corpse, I mean, how long would it have taken for these knuckleheads to sort out fingerprints on a freaking door handle? That's crazy. Yeah, I know, right? Right? I don't even know what was going on at the time, dude. I don't remember what was going on at this time. As far as current events, that was so long ago, man. Um, I don't remember. I mean, there's probably something stupid happening somewhere in the world, but fuck, man, why? I mean, like I said, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me because like any police department can do fingerprinting. Any any police department can do fingerprinting. So the FBI could have walked it down the street. I mean, even I don't know how far the LVMPD is from this office, but they could have walked it faster than that. Walked over to the police department, ran the fingerprints, said, "We're the FBI. We're going to use your whatever the fuck they use for this shit," and just done it that day. But they didn't. They fucking didn't. It took them 2 months. This is why conspiracies happen. This is why conspiracies are a thing because shit like this is stupid. This is dumb. I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Can they do it on the roadside? I don't. I didn't. I haven't been pulled over in a very long time, man. I don't even know. Um, that's crazy, though. That's crazy. That is something that is a problem. That is a huge problem. I don't know why it would have taken them that long to fingerprint this guy. I mean, the fingerprints. Yeah, I'm gonna cut out here in a minute, but the fingerprints were. Let's see. I believe it said it towards the end there. Um, yeah, and all this BS. Let's see. So the fingerprints were in the bag with the body, if I remember right. I believe that's what it said up here. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, here they are. Print exemplars. I looked that up. That means fingerprints. Um, these little bastards. Okay, so they took the clothes. Down there it said the clothes were not released at this time. So October 6th, October 6th was when the autopsy was done. Okay. Um, about 4:25. All right, so October 6th, you had the body bag. They took pictures of the body bag, the clothed body, pretty clean body, injuries and X-rays. All right, so this is when they're doing all this stuff, and there's the timing on that. Following people in attendance, and the FBI were there. It's not like we had to call the FBI, say come pick this shit up. They were right there. The following items of evidence were retained by the FBI's evidence recovery team. Right, so these two morons picked this shit up, right? So these two fucking people should have taken care of business. One brown long sleeve shirt, one pair of black pants, one pair of white socks, one pair of black slip on shoes, one pair of blue underwear. Yeah, and then the print exemplars, right? Let's see. So what else we got here? Detectives attended the autopsy. Also present were members of the FBI evidence recovery team who retained all collected evidence. So they had the fingerprints, according to this, on October 6th. On October 6th. But they didn't get those things done for another 2 months. Or am I? Yeah, 2 months. Well, a little over 2 months. But yeah, about 2 months. Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, but those don't matter, man. If you had prints from previous thing, even if you had like a DUI or some shit like that, and they took his prints, um, that would matter. What matters is these, because I don't because they need these prints to match up later. So these prints here are what we're talking about here, right? So these are the fingerprints. This is that whatever those fingerprints were taken on that piece of paper or whatever, that should be right here. That should be this right here. And this should have, I would think, would have been done quicker than this. But yeah, this is not something from the past or anything like that. I guess. Oh, what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What you're saying makes sense. Okay. I see where you're going, dude. I'm sorry, man. I doubted you the other day, and I was wrong about that baby monitor thing. Um, I see what you're saying. So yeah, they get those prints, they get them over to the lab. Now they got to figure out what these match to. Got to find a match, and they would have had his. Chances are they would have had his fingerprints, like you said, because he worked at the IRS and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't have taken that long, man. Should not have taken that freaking long. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if you bought any guns in a state where you got to do background checks, stuff like that. But you also have fingerprints, I believe, on some of those in some states. But of course, he probably wasn't buying them from states like that. No, I know. I had to work that out in my head as far as how that went. And the other day with the baby monitor, yeah, you were 100% right. That's what that little thing was on the counter. I don't know if you saw that, but I went back on that later. I looked up that baby sense baby monitor. I didn't think, at the time of it being a two-piece system. So, I don't have children, so I don't have to deal with shit like that. But I was thinking just a camera, right? I'm thinking a baby monitor is just a camera, and you attach your phone to it, through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever it is, and you monitor it that way. And I guess I'm just, I was thinking that, and then that little monitor that was on the table there, I didn't think that's what that was. And then when I went out and looked at it, I'm like, oh shit, it comes with its own monitor. It's exactly what that was. I mean, it's exactly what those things look like. So you're actually right on that one. And then it took me a day or two to kind of look it up and figure it out. Because like I said, I don't deal with kids too much. But yeah, this is weird. Yeah. Well, that's all I'm trying to do, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Somebody fucking gave me a bunch of shit the other day. Someone was talking shit to me about why are you doing this? Why are you still doing this? This is stupid. You shouldn't be doing this shit. You're never going to find anything. And it's like the whole idea here, and I've explained this before, but, um, the whole idea here is not to solve the crime. And I've said since the beginning, since I first started this channel way back fucking, you know, years ago, that my whole job here is not solve this crime. I'm not that person. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm trying to do. And I'm not, delirious enough to say that I can do that. The idea here is just to understand, to try and get an understanding of what happened and make sense of as much of this that makes sense. And then try and figure out where the holes are, where it doesn't make sense, and see if I can rationalize some way of making it make sense. And, you know, um, and sometimes it doesn't, man. I mean, this whole report doesn't make a lot of sense. It's all kind of gibberish, and I mean, it paints a picture that does make sense, but when you break it down, you heavily scrutinize it, it falls apart, and that's kind of an issue, and that's kind of the only thing we got going, But the thing is also like, and I was telling this person to say, in there are videos uh, where I've dealt with shit, as far as this stuff goes, and nobody's ever talked about certain things. There's certain things that nobody's ever brought up, nobody's ever discussed, and and there's another person with, there's, into this Vegas community stuff, and there's things that people haven't touched, right? And and one of the things is like watching the body cams. When I'm watching the body cams, I was asked a long time ago to find a specific person and find out what happened to them that night, and if I could find any information on what happened to them that night, because they passed away. And a person I know was a friend of that person, and so that kind of kept me going for a little while, and that got me going. And I actually found that person, and I can actually, I mean, through looking at the photos of that person on Instagram, Facebook, photo that person gave me of the person, um, and seeing what they were wearing, that day of the concert, what their husband was wearing that day of the concert. So it is a female, and all that sort of stuff. In the body cams, I found that person, and that was just going through them, not knowing what the fuck I was looking for, or looking at, just trolling through them, and I found that person. And now, I can explain exactly what happened to that person, you know, um, exactly, well, to a point. For the most part, I can kind of take them from point A to point B. I just don't know where they were actually in the crowd at the time when the shooting started, but I can take them from from that mystery point to point B, which I know exactly where they where they ended up, and then to point C, where they ended up after that, and then to the hospital. And so that was actually pretty decent, right? And that's one of those things that I will not do a video on that, and I won't put that out there. I'll tell people about it if people ask me, personally, emails and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do an actual public video about that, because the last fucking person that did that, painted a target on somebody's back, and that person got dragged through the mud because of somebody's personal bullshit that they were starting with everybody in the community. And so, that's one of those things I can't do. I just can't do it. I kind of was going to. I had it all planned out. I had all the, how I got to my conclusions, um, you know, everything, exactly how it all worked out. And as I started to make the video, I stopped and I thought, that's fucked up, because if, because I know somebody knows this person, and that person was telling the family of that person what had happened to him, and that we had all this information. And I thought, that person now watches some of these, for some of these videos. That person watches once in a while, and I don't think I've been burning through these so fast and furious here that nobody's going to watch every single one of these videos. At least chances are it's not going to happen. Um, and that's kind of by design. It gets rid of a lot of the riffraff. This is some heavy shit. This is kind of hardcore. This is just my journey going through all this stuff, documenting my own shit. Um, but the thought came to my head that what happens when this guy tells the family that what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden that family comes in here and starts watching my shit, and all of a sudden they see this thing about their family member, how they died, pictures of how they died, and all that bullshit. Now I can do that. That's fucked up. That'd be really fucked up. So that's why I won't do stuff like that. That's kind of the line in the sand for me. You know, I don't want to show people actually dying. And there is one other person, that one other thing that kind of I have to go through all the autopsies, because there's one person I got to find out who it is, because I know people that actually um, were near that person when they died. So they want to know exactly who it is, but they don't have a very good description, because the only description I got is when I asked what hair color it was, it just said blood. When I asked what were they wearing, they said a dress. So what kind of dress? They said blood. So it's like, all right, I'll figure it out, if I can, to the best of my ability. And and I'm not even positive that person died, but yeah, pretty sure. Um, so that's going to be another one that's kind of a pain in the ass. And again, these are things that I do behind the scenes that have absolutely nothing to do with these videos. These videos are kind of easy mode right now, because I'm just reading something, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. This does not take a lot of effort, and I can come home every night, just turn this thing on, and just read what's on the screen. Makes it very easy. And then during the day, sometimes I'll go through stuff like that. So, you know, um, that's kind of how this process is playing out right now. But anyway, I gotta get out of here, get off this thing. It's almost been 2 hours, man. This is too long of a video, because I gotta go back through these videos someday, and I have to document everything that I've gone through in these videos, so I know where to find my own ranting and raving. But yeah, have a good day, man, and thanks for stopping by and all that, and stay safe out there as always.